Welcome to another Soccer Down Here 1v1 with our partners when it comes to being live in 2021. And our next partner for the live tour comes to us from Dry County Brewing, Trey Sinclair, founder and president. Trey, thanks for coming on for a 1v1 and letting everybody know about Dry County.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, so my first question is, how do we get from the hometown of Brett Favre to north of Atlanta when it comes to building Dry County?
Yeah, there you go. You're going way back in the archives there. So, I guess you got to go back even further than that. You're alluding to, I guess, when we started out brewing out in Mississippi, but before that, we were home brewing over in Athens, Georgia, and that's when it all really started. Home brewing in Athens, and I'm from the Woodstock, Kennesaw area. Grew up there, lived there my whole life. Moved back there after college, and kind of had this idea, this dream to start a brewery there. In the area where I'm from, but didn't have any money, didn't have any experience, and through a long chain of events and connections, got hooked up with Lazy Magnolia Brewery out in Kiln, Mississippi, the hometown of Brett Favre. Started brewing beer out there until I could afford my own spot in Kennesaw, and that was kind of the long circuitous route back to Kennesaw from Kiln, Mississippi.
And if I remember correctly, at the beginning of all of this, I think one of the lessons that you got to learn in all of this was actually learning how to sell and manufacture the product. True?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like going from hobby to pro and anything. You learn a lot and put on a lot of hats that you've never worn before. So obviously, I'd homebrewed a good bit of beer and I think make decent homebrewed beer, but professionally brewing on the scale that we do it, that all of our peers do it, is significantly different than brewing a batch of beer on your stove or on a turkey fryer. So you definitely learn how to scale up recipes, and then also putting on that salesman hat and going door to door, bars and restaurants and liquor stores, trying to get them to pick up a product they've never heard of before and never had before. And you're just a 26-year-old something kid. Trying to sell them a product they've never had when they can buy anything from anybody. So yeah, definitely a steep learning curve for sure.
And at the same time, I know that it was important for you as you were growing in this process to assemble the right team around you to help Dry County grow.
Yeah, and we've definitely been blessed in that category. I'm probably the least skilled at every position we have on the team, which is great. We've got Steve Anderson and Tim Schiavone. They brew all of our beer for us. They're much better brewers than I ever was or ever will be. We got Brian Lehman and his sales team selling our beer, and Jenna Weber and Cole are leading our taproom team. So really kind of an all-star crew assembled here that we're lucky to have for sure.
How difficult was the last, I guess now 13 months or 13 plus months in the marketplace for you guys? How difficult was it to manage?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't easy. But it was, we'd been in the market for about 4 years before the pandemic hit, and it almost felt like starting to get our feet under us, which is never fun, right? So it was only fitting we got a curveball thrown at us and had to kind of relearn everything in a whole new world. So definitely learned a lot, grew a lot. It forced us, just like a ton of businesses, to pivot and change and find new ways of doing things. We were a very heavy, what they call on-premise bars and restaurants, draft beer focused brand, and very quickly had to pivot to be more what they call off-premise, cans in grocery stores and liquor stores and things like that. That's where people were doing their shopping when the world was closed, right? So forced us to kind of grow up and learn some skills we didn't have before and become a different brand than we were before, which has been fun. And we've come out the other side, I think, better for it. So
I was going to ask about that. When you come out the other side of all of this, you get to learn a lot about yourself. You get to learn a lot about your business plan and your marketing and all the aspects of business that go into something like this. I guess what were was there one takeaway that was more surprising about you and Dry County and the business and the team than were above any else, you think?
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. But I think, frankly, the biggest learning for us wasn't about ourselves. It was more about our community really that connection that our community feels to us, and obviously vice versa. The support that we saw from Kennesaw and Cobb County and greater Atlanta was huge during the pandemic, especially early on when there were the mandated shutdowns and we couldn't be open to the public, and we couldn't have people into our tap room to hang out, which was, it's a big part of our business. Just the rallying around us and our brand and our products that we saw from the community, whether that was dropping in to buy cases of beer to go, or whether that was going to the liquor store and buying extra of our product to show support. I think that's something that forever changed how we view our connection to the local community and the importance of that, for sure.
And at the same time, we, as a soccer network, we all know really about the connections that the sport has with its community. What is the connection, and how did it start with Dry County and the soccer community?
Yeah, it started really early on for Dry County. Kennesaw, as you know, is home to Atlanta United 2, or became home to Atlanta United 2 a couple years into our existence. We very quickly formed a partnership with the fan base there. We've brewed some one-off beers for them. We've brewed some beers that, like Lechuza, that are sold at the stadium. So we've hosted tailgates and pre-games and post-games. And I think that was kind of our first foray into partnering with the soccer community. And then, Atlanta United themselves as well have a couple games at KSU each year. Just had one, was it last week, I guess, and myself and a couple other Dry County employees were there in attendance for that. So anytime Atlanta United or Atlanta United 2 is in town for a game, we like to host them and have a good time. Soccer fans definitely know how to drink beer, so that always is a plus as well.
When you look at how you've grown so far, and you like to look down the road a little bit, I know that as we go backward 13 months, I know that it's probably a little more reserved when you look at growth going forward. But when you look at the continued evolution of Dry County Brewing, what do you see? What are you looking at as you continue to advance in the marketplace?
Yeah, I think what we see going forward for growth is really, in some ways it's more of the same, growing that packaged product, the canned product that I spoke about. But in some ways it's different. Dry County, we've branched out into more than just craft beer. We also do craft cocktails. We do craft cider. And we just recently launched an agave seltzer brand. So I think a lot of it is more of the same of growing that beer business, but also branching out and we're seeing consumers, be more promiscuous in what they're drinking and not just be a light beer drinker or just be an IPA drinker. They might drink IPAs on, certain days and drink craft cocktails on others. So really positioning ourselves where we can be that brand that you can go to no matter what mood you're in, I think is really where we see our future and our growth in distribution, for sure.
Trey Sinclair, founder and president, Dry County Brewing, hanging out with us here at Soccer Down Here for a 1v1 as the live tour continues, with Dry County being the next stop on the board. Is there one product that Dry County has developed over time that you are the most proud of, whether it's a craft cider or a beer or what have you? Is there one that you sit there that you go, yeah, we really did something to be proud of here? Is there one that stands alone above all the others that kind of hits you between the eyes and goes, man, we really did something here?
Yeah, it's kind of venturing into that, question of what's your favorite child type of thing. But no, I think from a couple different angles, on the beer side, I'm frankly incredibly proud of Dry County IPA, simply from the standpoint of that was our first beer 5 years ago. It's still our number one selling beer. And as the IPA category has drastically changed over the past 5 years of our existence, going from what Dry County IPA is, classic, bitter, citrus pine type of IPA, to being, what's popular today, hazier, softer, juicier IPAs. We've stuck by that Dry County IPA, and the consumer and the drinker has stuck by that beer, and it's still our best seller today. So I think from the beer standpoint, I'm incredibly proud of that product and our team's resilience and sticking by it, and our retailers' resilience and continuing to get it on tap and get it on the shelf. Outside of beer, then you look at products like our blueberry lemonade vodka, which is gone gangbusters for us and is a huge seller for us now. It's a ready-to-drink vodka cocktail, 9% in a can, that we sell we sell a lot of it, and I'm proud of that from the standpoint of it. When it was launched, it was very different from anything else that was available in the market, especially locally, and still is in a lot of respects. And so I'm proud of the team on that one too, as well, because it was kind of a risk and a chance to take. Nobody was doing anything like it, and that's a little scary when you're a small supplier to do something that no one else is doing. It's easier to kind of follow and copy, but definitely proud of that one as well. So.
Take me into the creative process a little bit for something like that. When you sit there, I mean, is there what's the collaborative like? Is it a long table under normal circumstances where you're all sitting around and you're spitballing ideas? Is it a dry erase board on a wall someplace? What's the creative process where you sit there and it's like, hey, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this, and then you come up with the idea like a product like that is a risk that you stick with, that you're successful with?
Yeah, no, it's a little bit of all that, and then there's usually some liquid mixed in there as well in the creative process. We never brainstorm with an empty hand for sure, but no, I think it is that it's collaborative. It usually comes down to collaboration between myself, our brew team, and then our sales team as well. Kind of what the sales team is seeing in the market, hearing from retailers and hearing from consumers. What our brew team is frankly, excited about, interested in producing. They're the ones that are gonna have to make it day in and day out. So we want them to enjoy it and like it. We don't put anything out in the market we don't ourselves like drinking. But it typically does come down to inspiration. We'll be inspired by something, whether it's a dish we have at a restaurant that we've never had before, or whether it's a drink, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, that we've, had or never had before. The blueberry lemonade vodka was inspired by a blueberry lemonade drink that was non-alcoholic, but I just loved the combination, the flavor, and then looking around and seeing in the culinary world, whether it was desserts or salads or different things, a lot of blueberry and lemon being paired, and that kind of got the wheels turning of maybe that is the right combination to start for that vodka cocktail line and going from there. So a lot of it is that we have beers that are inspired by tons of other beers out there. Our Kennesaw bourbon ale is inspired by Kentucky bourbon ale. Our Lechuza Mexican lager is inspired by Modelo. There's a lot of beers that we ourselves like drinking before we were a craft brewery, and that we want to kind of replicate and put our own spin on and local flair to. And that's how I think a lot of it comes to be.
All right. What's the current situation when it comes to having folks back under a normal umbrella and socialization? I know that folks are wondering about that kind of stuff as everyone's coming back online. Where do things stand right now with the premises?
Yeah, so we would, as much as you could say normal, and in today's day and age, we're back to normal. Obviously, we're still social distanced. Our employees are still wearing masks. We're still using sanitizer every turn we can. We've greatly expanded our outdoor seating. We've added tons more picnic tables to the outdoors and spaced those out. Made it a lot easier to come into Dry County, get your beer, and hang out outside in a socially distanced manner, which with the weather we've been having lately is great. And we see way more people taking advantage of our outdoor seating than we did pre-COVID for sure. But other than that, it's as normal as you can. We're open full hours. We're open full staff. We're open full product line. You can come in 7 days a week, starting at noon and run until between 9 and midnight, depending on the day of the week, and have a beer, cider, or cocktail with us. You can also grab products to go. So, it's obviously still somewhat delicate times, but hopefully with these vaccine rollouts and declining numbers, that we continue to get more and more back to normal as we go.
All right. So for folks that want to keep an eye on what's going on at Dry County 24/7, 365 or 366, how do they do it?
Yeah. There's a few different ways you can do it. One is we do have a website out there, www.drycountybrewco.com. But we're also very active on the social medias, Facebook and Instagram. So you can follow us on there at Dry County Brew Co. Follow us there. We've got daily updates of different things we have going on, either at the brewery or out in the market, new beers, new releases, events, food trucks, things of that sort. So, follow us on social or the website and come check us out.
Trey Sinclair, founder and president, Dry County Brewing. Thanks for hanging out with us for a 1v1 and letting everybody know what's going on there at Dry County as you guys roll out the red carpet for us when the live tour hits Dry County coming up very soon. Trey, as always, thanks for hanging out with us and good to catch up. We'll be seeing you soon.
Yeah, I appreciate it.